And this is Good News with Dick Baumbach. I'm Jeff Heiser, and I'm here today with Dick here in the studio. And I have to tell you, Dick, our special edition show was a big-time hit. It really was. We got a lot of feedback from that show about people agreeing that there's just too much that's being reported. This week we have the Olympics starting.
That's exactly right, Jeff. And maybe we can give people some good news.
Well, you do. You have this story here. Your first story that you've brought in was the first ever refugee Olympic team has already won in Brazil.
Yeah. Now, this I didn't know, and I'm waiting to see if the media picks up on it. It's a team of 10 refugee athletes who are set to march tomorrow night at the Olympics with the white Olympic flag because they have no country. They're all refugees. And they're swimmers and they're runners, and they basically had lives where they were lost in forests. They had to run away from being killed by terrorists, etc. And so they feel that they've won already.
Already, yeah, they're here.
By being there. And so I'm looking forward to seeing them tomorrow night with the white flag.
Wouldn't it be something if they wound up winning a whole lot of medals? Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be unbelievable.
That would just be amazing.
Oh, my gosh.
I want to join the white flag team. Your next one is another really good one. It's about an Uber driver reunites wallet containing life savings with newly immigrated man.
Yeah, this just happened in Chicago.
In Chicago?
In Chicago. And this gentleman, Jose Figueroa, he's an Uber driver. He picked up a gentleman at the O'Hare Airport. And what he did then, he got him, and the man told him that he had just sold his business in the Ukraine and he had moved to the United States. And he had a total of $3,000. That's all he had.
Wow.
And so he dropped him off at a house, and then he looked in the back and he noticed the man's wallet. And he drove back to the house, and everybody broke out into tears when he came up with the wallet and said, "Here, this is yours." And the gentleman,
amazing story, actually,
who doesn't want to give his name, he gave him a $100 reward for returning the wallet.
Wow. I have a brother-in-law that is an Uber driver, and he's told me some amazing stories. And I know, just by knowing my brother-in-law, that would be something that he would do.
Yeah.
He would do the same thing. And it's the right thing to do. I mean, I always live by what my mom and dad told me, and you've told me too, I think. You treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly right.
And that's the way I would want to be treated.
And the man, Jose, said basically that, well, everybody would do the same thing. We would hope, Jeff.
We would hope. I mean, I know people that would do it. I also know some people that
might not.
What wallet?
We won't go into those two.
What wallet? Actually, I think you took my wallet. No. Your next one is Muslims go to Catholic Mass across France to show solidarity after priest murder. That was one of the most terrible things that I think I've ever seen in the news about what happened with that priest. And I don't know if you saw the whole story or heard what he was saying right before it all happened. And for this to happen, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, these Muslims across France are not going just one time. They're now going every week to support these people and say, we apologize for the behavior of this person.
Yeah.
And it's been, there were 100 Muslims that were with 2,000 people at the cathedral in Rouen. They now are going to Notre Dame Cathedral.
Wow.
And they're going all over and saying it's not us.
Right. Right.
So-
It's the other part to that story is that I guess they let that individual was shot by the police, I guess, and they just let him rot in the street.
Well, and
It was like, oh man.
well, do you know where his body is now?
No.
His body now is still at the morgue for the
Right.
area because no Muslim will go and get the body.
That's just an amazing
So
story.
they don't know what to do because they're not accepting the body.
Right. There's so much being reported that is antagonistic towards variety of groups, not just religions, but
Right.
races and cultures and religions. And this is a good example. You didn't hear very much about this in the news at all.
There was a little bit.
It was like a blip.
Right.
And okay, well, show us a little more. And it was like, Muslims go to church with and that was it.
Yeah.
It was like,
Well,
wow.
And so, and again, it's, we have to, again, that's why we bring the world good news
Right.
each week.
I've got a question for you on this. Do you think that it would have been reciprocated the other way if it was the Muslim high priest? Would the Catholics all go or the Christians all go?
Well, I reflect back on the Crusades, and I wonder what was like. I mean, we
Right.
weren't. I mean, we're getting older, but we
I wasn't
weren't back.
around, Dick, but maybe no.
But I wonder if that ever happened with the Crusades.
Yeah, that's what my thought was. We can learn a lot from people's examples like this. Your next one is hero dog smashes window to summon help and save stricken owner. I thought this was just amazing.
This happened in North Vale, New Jersey, and this happened last Friday. And two women were walking by a home, and this dog inside the house literally smashed through a window to get their attention,
It's crazy.
which they immediately called because they thought somebody was breaking in.
Right.
The police got there, called out, said, please come out, please come out. Finally, they decided to go in. Man was laying on the floor. He had been there for 3 days, still alive.
Wow.
And the dog saved that guy's life.
Wow. I'm just curious. It doesn't really matter, but did they say what kind of a dog it was?
They did not. There's no reference to what kind of dog it is. However, if you wanted to let I'll find out.
I'm just curious because it takes I would think it would take a special kind of dog to do something like that.
Yeah, and this dog. I mean, I have visions of it being like a boxer.
Yeah.
Going through and saying, "Okay, I'm going to get this done." But we've had stories over the years where dogs have done the same thing.
Right.
Have stopped fires.
Right. And that's why I was asking. You see a lot of stories now in the news about these war dogs and what they do. And, was this like one of those war dogs, or was this a little chihuahua that, was just yapping so much it broke the window?
But the window that, and I wish that our listeners could see it, but this is the thickness of the window.
Wow. I can tell you that the picture he's showing me is like, that's a pretty heavy duty window.
Yeah. It's that's what really blew my mind.
Wow.
It's not just a piece of plate glass.
Wow. Speaking of windows, I got to share something really funny before we go. Last night they had on the news these police that were trying to break into a car to get, I think it was a baby or maybe a dog out or something. I don't know. And they took this huge, big rock. I mean, it must have weighed like 50, 60, 70 pounds. And they threw it at the back window, and it bounced back, and the guy caught it. It was so funny.
Oh.
And then the other guy just like took his wand and went, ploop, and the window just went boom. But this one guy is like, he throws this big rock at it, and it just bounces right back at him. So, yeah, it was pretty good. So, what do you have for us next week there, Mr. Baumbach?
Well, and this is really, in my opinion, a good news story, and it's going to be our lead, is the French media, and I think this should happen in the States, now refuses to glorify terrorists, and they ban any sensational photos. The only thing they are now saying is they will do a mugshot if the person is alive, but that's it, period.
You know, when I was a young man coming up through coming up through my military career at a time, that was one of the big things that we always talked about is the terrorists. They don't care about the lives. What they care about is getting the news coverage.
Exactly.
Because it gives you this perception of how big and bad they are when we're doing it to ourselves.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
I wish they would do that here. I mean, not just with the terrorists, with these different movements. I won't say who they are because I don't want to be inflammatory, but there's different movements that are getting coverage that should never get coverage.
And we won't go there.
No, we won't. It's good news.
We're doing good news.
We are doing good news, and I really, really appreciate you being here, Jake, for the good news, because that's all you bring is good news.
I try.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be here again next week with another set of really good news. Thanks a lot. Have a great week. Take care, Mr. Baumbach.
Thank you, sir. Take care.